The detectives tell Dahlia to quit the act and quit the game. They know the truth, and so does everyone else, including her husband. They know that Dahlia had hired a hitman to kill her husband that morning. The hitman she hired was an undercover cop.
What? No way. She actually hired a hitman.
Yes.
What the heck?
Back when Michael was being set up for dealing drugs, he had actually confronted Dahlia the third time because no one else knew they were going to dinner that night. And so he's like, you were the only one that knew. Dahlia freaked out. She was driving the car. She began driving manically, going over 100 miles per hour. And so Michael apologizes. It's like, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out who's doing this to me. I really don't think it's you. And he calms down. Police later said that part of the reason they let him go that night was because they had a feeling that Dahlia actually had something to do with it based on how she was acting as her husband was breaking down. It was the next morning that Dahlia, she was starting to freak out that he had been catching on, that he actually asked her if she'd been doing it. And that same day that she told Michael she was pregnant, she texted her ex-boyfriend. She asked him to pose as a lawyer to her new husband, whom she hated, and tell him that in order for him to get off probation, he would need to move his house solely into his wife's name. So the ex-boyfriend called Michael, posed as a lawyer, told him exactly that, and Michael did it for his pregnant wife.
What is going on? Okay.
Dahlia then contacted another ex-lover and asked him to hire a hitman to kill her current husband. Now that the house was in her name, she would be left the house and everything, but he needed to die. This new ex-lover said neither no or yes, but instead drove to the local police after meeting with Dahlia and told them Dahlia's intentions.
Whoa.
Police decide at this point that they would plant a camera in his car and have him meet back up with her and say yes. Not even 6 months after the Dippolito marriage, Dahlia climbed into a parked car to converse with a hitman she had hired via her ex-lover. The supposed hitman was actually an undercover narcotics cop.
Sure you want to kill this dude?
So she was taken to jail and given a phone call. And who do you think she calls?
The lawyer friend.
No, she calls Michael, who she just
Okay.
tried to kill. And Dahlia is straight up gaslighting Michael in this call. Hey, Michael, I need you to hire a lawyer for me. And he's like, I know that you just tried to kill me. And she's like, no, I didn't. And he's like, Dahlia, they showed me everything. They showed me footage of you literally saying that you want to kill Michael. They showed me the same thing and I didn't do it. I watched all the same footage too, Michael, and I didn't do it. You think I'd do that to you? And he's like, I heard you saying you do it. I heard that too, Michael, but I didn't do it. Oh my gosh, you can't even argue with it.
She's crazy.
At trial, Dahlia would claim that the whole thing was a hoax because they together as a couple were trying to get Michael on TV because he loved TV and he wanted to be on TV. So
and her lawyer was okay with this?
Yes. So her lawyer gets up and goes, you can't believe this because the only reason she acted like this was because they wanted this outcome, but then all of a sudden Michael changed his mind. Like it was a whole show. That's their defense.
I'm not gonna lie, it's actually a pretty smart defense.